Hello and welcome to this episode of Shatterdice Reviews, and today's board game review is Shadows of Brimstone Otherworld's expansion, Caverns of Cynder. Welcome to the Caverns of Cynder, a world of cavernous marble vaults filled with boiling magma rivers and waterfalls of liquid darkstone. Behold the realm of the Shadow Kings in all its burning glory, as you prepare to enter a realm of shadow magic and demons beyond the ken of man. Caverns of Cynder was one of the first Otherworld expansions released by Flying Frog Productions, and takes heroes to a world that is essentially a hell stereotype. Demons, magic, and lots of heat. Let's take a look at some of the rules additions brought to the game by Cynder. The biggest addition this expansion brings is lava spaces, printed on map tiles such as this one. Lava spaces have this distinctive yellow border to clear up any uncertainties that may arise from the artwork on the map tile. Each of these spaces has a target dice roll in the corner, such as 3+, 4+, etc. This represents how likely a hero is to be burned when standing in that space. Each time a hero stands on a lava space, they have to beat the target number, or else they get burned. This takes us onto burning tokens, a new status effect introduced in Cynder. When a character has burning tokens on them, they will suffer damage at the start of their turn, and then discard one marker. Burning markers do stack, which means you can find yourself burning for quite a long time if you are particularly unlucky when trying to cross those lava spaces. Caverns of Cynder also comes with a few extra new token types. These numbered poker chips are for tracking experience, and these gold and silver coins are for tracking money. These are both very handy, and thankfully you can buy these token sheets separately, as I would say they are kind of a must-have. There are also new Darkstone tokens, liquid Darkstone, for the fires of Cynder burn so hot it melts the Darkstone into a glowing purple liquid, which, to collect, you will need a special container. Unfortunately, the liquid Darkstone is a bit of a gimmick for one of the adventures, as you can still collect regular Darkstone while in Cynder. I kind of wish all Darkstone in Cynder became liquid Darkstone, and you could only carry a certain amount, but maybe it becomes more powerful in liquid form, and each liquid Darkstone token will convert to 2 regular tokens when outside of Cynder, or something like that. It just seems like a bit of a wasted opportunity. That's about it for rules, additions and tokens, so let's just take a moment to have a look through these map tiles. I really like these tiles. The lava has this really vibrant comic book look to it, and the cooler blues of the stonework contrast against it nicely. They really do a lot to bring to life this magical demon world, and also serve as Shadows of Brimstone's most fantasy-esque environment. These wouldn't look out of place in some D&D campaign setting, and it makes for a stark contrast to the far-fetched but somewhat more realistic environments of jungles and frozen cities you can also visit. Well, that's enough of the tiles. Let's take a look at what new demonic monstrosities you will be facing in the blistering heat. Could it be some horrific demon with wings and talons and... No, it's 3 lava men. That's it. You get 3 of these lava men with Caverns of Cynder as enemies, and that's it. These are basically rock golem type creatures, with boiling lava flowing in the cracks of their stony bodies. A good paint job makes these guys look pretty cool, but as an enemy, they aren't too interesting, to be honest. You do get the usual assortment of encounter cards and artifacts that are all thematically in line, as you will come across scenes of demonic torture and hearing whispering voices, while the artifact deck will offer you enchanted jewellery and unholy scriptures. It may be lacking in the new enemies department, but the Caverns of Cynder has just as much character as any of the other worlds. Because of the lack of miniatures and enemies, you can usually find Caverns of Cynder for a much lower price point than any of the Otherworld expansions. It was a long time ago I bought this, but I think I found it for £30, while the Derelict Ship I believe cost me £50, and Derelict Ship is the next cheapest. It's pretty good value if you are just wanting to explore a different environment and don't care much about fighting new enemies. With the money you save, you can also buy some of the enemy packs, such as Magma Fiends or Hellhounds, that are designed to go with Cynder. I think Flying Frog realised this expansion was underdeveloped compared to others, as in the years since, it has received many enemy packs designed to fit the theme, if not specifically made for it. These are Magma Fiends, Hell Vermin, the Magma Giant. Even the Hellfire Succubi expansion is more closely tied to Cynder than any of the other adventure packs. Then there is the sinister Fleshstalker, who has echoes of the Cenobites from the Hellraiser films, who fits the Caverns of Cynder quite well. And to complete the Caverns of Cynder, you can get the last of the Shadow Kings himself, Belial, an XXL enemy type, and makes for an epic final boss showdown in Cynder. But these are all expansions, so it is unfortunate that to make Cynder achieve its potential, you will end up shelling out a good chunk of cash for it. But you can make it a worthwhile otherworld for a reasonable cost. Remember, you don't have to get everything, no matter what the voices in the dark tell you. Well, that just about covers it, so let's take a look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good. As always, the over-the-top theme is on full display here. Do you want your cowboys to go to hell and fight a demon from a time beyond time? Sure, here you go, have at it, as long as you buy that demon from time beyond time sold separately. When I first got Cynder, I wasn't as hot on the theme as most other worlds, but after a few games, it grew on me. It really has some strong horror vibes to it, and it also has one of the best world mechanics. In Cynder, you will be at greater risk of burning the more clothing items you have equipped. This encourages you to depower yourself by taking off that +1 initiative hat or armoured coat. But what I really found funny was the idea of the preacher stripping down to his underpants and running around with just his holy cross to fight off the demonic hordes. As always, Shadows of Brimstone brings up some of the most absurdly amusing bits of storytelling. The artwork is also great, and those lava spaces introduce some tactical gameplay to moving, rather than just taking the shortest possible path. The bad. Well, of course, as mentioned earlier, the expansion feels unfinished with just these 3 lava men. I suspect Flying Frog rushed this one out of the door a bit, wanting to really show off the awesome scope of the planet hopping that Shadows of Brimstone is known for. But, to be blunt, they dropped the ball here. 3 relatively basic and uninspired enemies will really leave a sour taste in your mouth when you crack open that box that just feels oversized for what you get. The ugly. There's not much to say beyond the usual Shadows of Brimstone bookkeeping issues, trying to keep track of all those status effects. Burning can become very frustrating if you forget to discard the tokens and find your character is on fire for a bunch of extra turns. I'll also add the lava men here. They aren't a bad enemy. The bad part was that they were all you got. But they are a bit lacking when it comes to originality and challenge. They are really just high defense enemies, and I would have thought if these were the only ones included, they would at least be a deep and complex addition to Shadows of Brimstone's bestiary. So what do I think of Caverns of Cynder? It is a fun otherworld, but with that lack of content, it goes near the bottom of my Shadows of Brimstone expansion shopping list. There are much better add-ons to the game, and so I have to give it a low recommendation if you are really into this game, but if you are not, then I have to really say just give it a miss. Well, I'm bored of reviewing this game now. Bye.